All right, guys. So this next card is another really pretty card. It actually features something that I didn't originally plan to use in the class, but I had a request for it, so I'm honoring that request. And that is these little iridescent boxwood wreaths. They're really cute, but I hadn't really intended to use them in class, but somebody asked me if I would, so of course. I agreed. This was after I'd planned my cards, so I actually tucked this into this one, and it worked out pretty nicely. So, first of all, we're going to feature a couple of neat things in here. I've got my Mary Merlot double-sided ribbon, and we're going to use a length of this. It is two-sided, so there's kind of copper on one side and then just Mary Merlot on the other. We want the Mary Merlot side. And we're just going to trim a piece that is about, well, it's a little longer. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so first of all, oh goodness, I'm not organized on this one for some reason. Okay, so first of all, we're going to start with stamping our sentiment. And our sentiment is wishing you all the best in, as you might have guessed, Mary Merlot ink. It's so pretty. I love the mix of fonts in this stamp set. So there we go. Next, we'll take the large flower and we're going to ink it up in Blushing Bride ink. So we're kind of playing with our pink, light pink colors today. So I've got that inked up. Now what I'm going to do is take a sponge dauber and I'm going to ink Mary Merlot ink and kind of tap it just right in that center portion. Okay, and then I'm going to stamp it down on a scrap of, we're actually using shimmery white cardstock. Okay, and when I do that, I kind of get that two-toned look. Now that's kind of already built into your stamp, but I really like how nicely it works with this. Okay, now I'm going to do that a second time, so I want to stop, clean my stamp. That is an important step in this process. Okay, I've inked it up. I'm going to do the Mary Merlot again in the center and maybe just a touch on the outside edge. Just a touch, just a little hint of it. Okay, and then we'll stamp that down once again on our card. And you really get a beautiful effect. I'm going to go ahead and die cut these pieces and then we'll put everything together. Okay, I've got my two flowers die cut. I'm going to also take my Blushing Bride. Ooh, no, this is powder pink. Blushing Bride ink. And I'm going to stamp my branchy image in a couple times on my 4 by 5¼ inch panel. So I've got one there, and then I'm just going to set my sentiment just for kind of positioning purposes and then stamp another down there. Okay, now we'll close that up. Okay, now to put all of this together, it's pretty simple. I want to have my panel with my sentiment go right here, which means that I need to position my ribbon to be right about there. Okay, so I'm just going to go lay this across and then adhere it to the back side of my card. You can use glue dots, fast fuse, whatever you like to adhere things. I like fast fuse, it's easy. As you know, I'm a fan of fast fuse. Snail will work for this too, glue dots. I would not use liquid glue, however, for ribbon ever. Okay, so there we go. Now my sentiment is going to go right over the top and kind of cover up some of that ribbon. Again, we want the Mary Merlot side, not the coppery side on the back. And there we have just that little bit of ribbon sticking out. Isn't that pretty? I think that looks so nice. Okay, next I've got my two beautiful flowers, which are on the sparkly paper. So they're already kind of got some sparkle going on with them, which is awesome. I'm going to put dimensionals on the back of these, and then we're going to kind of build up our little, build up our little design here. Now, when I was originally making this card, I put my 2 flowers on, kind of like that. Okay. And then I tucked in some of these branchy dies. I'm just going to quick tuck them in. And and then that was kind of it. And I thought, well, that's nice, but it needs to be filled out just a little more. So this was the perfect opportunity to put in one of these wreaths. Excuse me. Okay, so the wreaths come kind of doubled up in a circle and they're on wire. So all that I'm really doing here is I'm going to take this, and I would like to warn you, you do not want to use your good scissors for this. Use a pair that you don't mind, because we're just going to snip off like a little hunk of each. Okay, so I'm snipping that little piece off, and then I can kind of curl it and have it tucked right underneath, like so. So that, oops, I want it not under my layer of my sentiment, but under my flower. So that's kind of a cute little touch. And then likewise, we'll sort of do this so that it comes out above, like so. Okay, and we'll fix those with glue dots. So that's kind of cute. And then we'll add this. I always end up ripping these, just so you know. We're going to tuck that right under here with a glue dot, and then we'll add in everything. Oh, actually, I wanted to add one more thing, and this is again where this fills things out so nicely. I've got my vellum leaves, and just like before, we're gonna just tuck that in. And do you see how much more full it makes it look without being busy? I love that. I love that effect. Okay, and I'll take a glue dot to adhere my wreath piece. Again, I just cut a little hunk of that off and then tucked it in underneath, and that just adds a little extra shimmer. It's kind of nice. Again, I'm ripping off this piece. Keep those other pieces though, because you never know where you might use them again. All right, we'll tuck this one in, kind of right there. So pretty. And I think it's best to add your vellum piece next. I like putting in those cardstock pieces first and then kind of shoving that piece of wreath under there afterwards. Okay, so again, I'm having it kind of curve out, filling up things a little bit, and then finally my wreath piece. Boom. So nice. Now I'm going to take this whole piece, which is just gorgeous, and then attach it to my card with a good amount of adhesive, just because I've got lots of things happening here. Oh, isn't that just beautiful? So pretty.